Okay, everyone, here are the notes. These are recorded notes, right? It's a video. The good thing that's you're able to watch it as many times as you need. You can pause it, you can rewind it, and you can watch it anytime and as many times, like I said. But what I need you to do is actually take notes. Don't just watch this, actually take the notes. You should hopefully have a notebook and where you're taking notes and you're keeping everything intact. All right, not just loose pieces of paper and then they're just not organized. They're going to get lost, they're going to tear. So hopefully you can get a notebook, keep all your notes in order, and whenever you need to look back and look at the examples, well then you'll have it. So the notes I'm going to take, or the notes I'm giving here, remember, they're for you. So actually do the work, copy the diagrams here, and follow along. Okay, so we're doing chapter 3.2. Chapter 3.2. And this is on parallel lines. Parallel lines and transversals. And I'm sure and I'm hoping that a lot of you are familiar with parallel lines, right? Parallel lines are what? Well, simply two lines that are running in the same direction, right? Now, there's certain symbols and something that'll tell you that's going to indicate that they're parallel. Sometimes they're parallel this way, sometimes they're parallel, maybe this other way. They're going this way. They can be vertical, they can be horizontal. And it can be two, it can be three parallel lines, but what you're probably going to see, unless it tells you, in written form or something that the lines are parallel, you'll see kind of like these little arrowheads like this. And it tells you, and they're kind of pointing in the direction, and this is the symbol to let you know that they're parallel. Okay, same thing here. You'll have, the little arrowhead. Sometimes if you have another two lines going another way that they're parallel, and this is a different set of pair, the second pair will have a double set of arrowheads like that. Okay, so these are parallel lines, right? They're running in the same direction. A transversal, this word here, a transversal, is going to be a line that actually somehow intersects. Somehow is going to intersect your parallel lines. So I can have a transversal here going like that. See, this line here is my transversal. It could have gone this way, it could have gone this way. The point is it's intersecting the parallel lines, right? Here are the parallel lines, right? These two here, the transversal is, and when that happens, when you have two parallel lines and you have a transversal, something really unique happens with all these angles that are here, and it's actually pretty easy, and that's what we're going to focus on today. All right, let me draw another transversal over here. This one, I can draw one going like this, I can draw one going like this, I can draw it all kinds of ways. I'll just draw one going kind of like that, right? That's a transversal. And then we're going to look at these angles that are here. Angles, see, all of a sudden now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And we're going to be looking at those. So that's parallel lines, and then the transversal is this one line that's going across. Okay, and same thing here. I can have a transversal going, you know, maybe this way. And sometimes they'll get tricky and they'll go one going this way, and I might have another one maybe going this way, and then you can just see how things can get a little tricky there. But we're not going to get that much into it. You'll still be able to handle it. But for the most part, you're going to be focusing on the two parallel lines and the what? Transversal. This line that's going to be, you know, going across the two parallel lines. Okay, so this is how easy it's going to be. We did this earlier in the Padlet, right? The warm up there, and we didn't look at two parallel lines. We just saw two intersecting lines, right? Just two intersecting lines. We just saw this, and I know that two types of angles are created here. When you have just two lines intersecting like this, again, there's no parallel lines here. There's just one line here and another line here. There's vertical angles that are formed. And there's also what? Supplementary angles. And this is the part where it gets really easy, right? Vertical angles obviously are the ones that they look like the same slice. Like, see, they kind of look like, as a matter of fact, see, this is making a V here and it's making a V here. They're vertical angles. Some people say it looks like they're kissing each other, you know. Not really true. But, you know, if this was something like 30 degrees here, let's say this is a slice of pizza, and then somebody just went, you know, cut. Well, obviously this slice here that looks like it's a 30 degrees would be congruent, and it would be similar to this other one on this other side. You can see they're the same looking angle. This slice here would not be the same as what? Would not be the same as this whole other. So that's a whole different ballgame. That's a whole bigger slice. Well, these are the vertical angles, 30 degrees, and this slice, they're vertical angles, so they're congruent. But then these two will also be vertical angles. Now, how do you figure those out? Well, again, like I said, we talked about this earlier. So I know that this angle and this angle are vertical, but then so are these, right? And why is that? Because now we also have the case of supplementary angles. Remember supplementary? Supplementary is what? It's a straight line, right? Starts with a S, straight. And I know that any straight line or straight angle is what? It's 180 degrees. It's 180 degrees on the top, and it's also another 180 degrees on the bottom. And that's why a whole complete revolution is what? 180 plus 180 is 360. But we're talking about just the fact that I know that a straight line, however many angles are there, adds up to what? 180. So if I look over here, I mean, there's a straight line going here this way, and I can look at these two angles. That's making a straight line, right? This one here. These two are making 180 degrees. So if that's 30, I can figure that out, right? And then, well, I also got this line this way. I can see this line this way over here. I mean, you can start wherever you want. We're going to get the same answer anyways. But whether I look at these two angles and they're forming a straight line, 30 plus what? 30 plus 150 will add up to 180, right? If I'm looking at this straight line here this way, I'm adding this angle with this angle here. Or if I look at this one here, and I'm looking at these two angles, and those are supplementary because they form a straight line, right? Then I know 30 plus 150 is 180. Or I can look at, you remember I told you the bottom half, 30 plus what? Long story short, we have vertical angles happening here. 150 and 150 are vertical angles, and 30 and 30 are vertical angles. But then the key thing is you have to know that supplementary angles are also there. And that's going to be the key for you to find the missing angles here when you have vertical angles, right? So let's just do another quick problem. I say I'm going to go this and this, right? Any two lines intersecting. And if I tell you that this is 125 degrees, and then they ask you for angle A and B and C, well, see, this should be a really easy problem, right? We have vertical angles. We have vertical angles. I hope you don't say this is 125 and this one's 125. Remember, vertical angles, they form a V. So if it's this one here, it's the one right opposite of it pretty much, right? So I know this is 125, then I know that this one's 125. Yeah. And then see, here's where some people get stuck and they're like, okay, I can do that, and they can't figure out the second one or these next two. Well, that's when you remember we start off with vertical angles, and then now we go to the supplementary. Okay, we got a straight line. We got a straight line. I can look at a straight line this way and kind of just focus on these two up here, or I can look at these two up here. I'm gonna get the same answer. So whatever 180 take away 125, this is where you're gonna use your calculator, right? Don't try to do it in your head. I believe it's 55, right? 55, is that right? Yeah, 55. So that makes this one 55, and that makes what? And then for the reason that these are vertical angles, this one's 55. Okay, so this is the first video. Sorry it took a little longer. I'll explain the work on video 2. All right, so go ahead and let's continue with the second video. Okay, I didn't want to make it too long, so I'm going to break it up into 2. Thank you.